$35,000 sitting quietly in a 529 plan might be the most underestimated wealth-building move your family has never made. And no, we're not talking about paying for college. We're talking about something most financial advisors aren't loudly broadcasting in their newsletters. Here's the setup. Thanks to a provision tucked inside the Secure 2.0 Act, signed into law in 2022, unused 529 funds can now be rolled over into a Roth IRA up to $35,000, tax-free and penalty-free over the course of a lifetime. That's not a loophole. That's not a glitch in the matrix. That is the law, working exactly the way Congress intended it to. Now, before you get too excited and start moving money around like you're playing financial Tetris, there are rules, and they matter. The 529 account has to have been open for at least 15 years, and the beneficiary, meaning your kid has to have earned income in the year the rollover happens, you can only move up to $6,500 per year, which is the annual Roth IRA contribution limit. So this isn't an overnight transformation. It's a multi-year strategy with a $35,000 ceiling. But here's where the math starts to get genuinely exciting, and where most people's brains stop doing the boring arithmetic and start seeing the bigger picture. If your child is in their early 20s, when you begin the rollover, that Roth IRA has 40 or more years to compound completely tax-free, and that $35,000 isn't $35,000 anymore. Run the numbers at a historical average market return of around 7% annually, and that $35,000 becomes somewhere north of $500,000 by the time your child hits retirement age. Think about what that actually means in practical terms. Tax-free growth, tax-free withdrawals, and zero required minimum distributions during their lifetime. Your child won't owe the IRS a dime on that money when they're 65, 70, or beyond. And in a world where tax rates seem to have nowhere to go but up, locking in tax-free income decades in advance is not a small thing. This is the financial equivalent of planting a tree in the shade of which you will never sit, except in this case, your child absolutely will sit in that shade, probably with a margarita. Here's the irony that should make every parent a little uncomfortable. Most families overfund 529 plans with every intention of using every last dollar for college. And then life happens. Scholarships come through, the kid pivots to a trade school, or college costs less than expected. And suddenly there's money sitting in a 529 with nowhere tax efficient to go. Until now, the options were grim. Take the money out and pay income tax, plus a 10% penalty on earnings, or leave it sitting there for a grandchild who may or may not exist. The Roth rollover provision changes the entire calculus. What's fascinating and slightly absurd is how long this kind of planning tool existed in a half-finished state. 529 plans have been around since 1996, quietly accumulating hundreds of billions of dollars in American households, marketed almost exclusively as college savings vehicles. The Secure 2.0 Act essentially said, actually, these things are more powerful than that, and handed families a decades-long wealth transfer mechanism wrapped in the same account they've been ignoring since their kid was in diapers. The psychological shift required here is real, and we shouldn't gloss over it. You have to stop seeing the 529 as a tuition checkbook and start seeing it as a multi-generational planning tool, one that happens to have a college detour built into the front end. This is the mindset of families who are quietly building generational wealth, while everyone else is debating whether a degree is even worth it anymore, which, for the record, is a separate and equally chaotic conversation. Now let's address the misconception that trips people up most often. Some parents think that if their kid gets a scholarship or doesn't use all the funds, they've somehow lost the tax advantage or made a mistake by overfunding. That fear used to be partially justified, now it's just outdated thinking. The scholarship exception, the sibling transfer option, and now the Roth rollover provision mean that a well-funded 529 is almost never a dead end. It's a financial Swiss Army knife. You haven't fully unfolded yet. Historically, the families who build real, durable wealth aren't necessarily the ones who earn the most. They're the ones who are most intentional about where money sits, how long it compounds, and which accounts shelter it from taxation. The 529 to Roth IRA strategy is a perfect example of playing the long game with boring, rule-following, unsexy consistency, which, as it turns out, is exactly how most real wealth gets built. Nobody writes a viral post about maxing a Roth IRA for 30 years, but the person who did it is definitely not stressed about retirement. The practical execution here isn't complicated, but it does require a plan. Start by auditing your current 529 balance. Confirm the 15-year account age requirement. Make sure your beneficiary has earned income in the year you want to roll funds, and then move up to $6,500 per year methodically, patiently, without trying to do it all at once. This is a strategy measured in years, not weeks, and the families who benefit most are the ones who start thinking about it before the money is urgently needed. Size your position right, don't overreact to market noise, and let the tax-free compounding do the heavy lifting. At the philosophical level, what this strategy really represents is the difference between reactive financial planning and intentional financial architecture. Most people build wealth by accident or by urgency. They save when they're scared and spend when they're comfortable, and that emotional cycle is the single biggest wealth killer in American households. The 529 to Roth pipeline forces a kind of structured, long horizon discipline that most people only wish they'd had 20 years ago. And the beautiful thing is, you can give that discipline to your child before they're even old enough to appreciate it. Here's the part that should genuinely comfort you. You don't have to be certain about your child's college path to make this work. Whether they go to a 4-year university, a trade school, or start a business out of their garage, the 529 still serves a purpose, either as tuition funding or as a tax-free retirement seed. You're not betting on one outcome. You're building a structure that wins across multiple scenarios. And that kind of optionality is exactly what good financial planning looks like. Comfort with uncertainty isn't recklessness. It's the product of thoughtful preparation. Discipline, intentionality, and time horizon matter infinitely more than timing the perfect moment to act. And this strategy is proof that the most powerful financial moves are often the quietest ones. $35,000 moved legally and strategically from one account to another could be the single best financial gift your family ever gives, not because of what it is today, but because of what it becomes over the next 4 decades. And if you're thinking about how to layer this into a broader wealth strategy, whether that's real estate investing, home contracting, or connecting with the right lenders, check out our links in the description below because we can help you get started.